lovelies, welcome to my channel. My name is Laura and today we're going to be talking about the cult of Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe. And before we jump in, I want to thank Switchcraft for sponsoring this video. And Switchcraft is a super fun, gripping mystery story about modern day witches with a strong female witch as a protagonist who is dead set on solving the disappearance of her best friend. And it also has a choose your own adventure story. There are thousands of magical match 3 levels within Switchcraft. And I have my own personal assumptions of who I think the suspect is in Lydia's disappearance. And let me know in the comments below if you played this game and who you think the suspect is. And the aesthetic resembles a modern graphic novel with hand-painted details, and the story features 85 plus characters from a wide variety of cultural backgrounds as well as disabled and LGBTQIA representation. And it's a super fun game to play. I've been enjoying it as a way to relax and unwind and kind of park my brain and take my mind off other things, especially everything that's going on in the world. So make sure you click the link in my description box and pin comment to download and play Switchcraft for free and unlock the magical mystery. All right, let's jump right into talking about the cult of Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn. The iconic pop culture images of both Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn were engraved in my head before I even saw their films as a child. Their faces have become recognizable, similar to the Coca-cola logo in the 20th century pop culture. And why is this? Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe are unmistakably the kinds of figures that we consider to be icons. The word icon is a term used to describe people whose entire mythology precedes even the things that made them famous. An icon is a person whose celebrity reaches both the upper and lower echelons in society. Their personal belongings may fetch millions at Christie's, and their images appear on posters and stickers. The term icon refers to a specific form of artwork showing a subject of religious worship. Celebrities have become our new gods and icons in modern times. Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe's current beatification appears to be particularly sincere. There is something about them that makes them genuinely sacred. Their images are ubiquitous and universally aspirational, whether it's admired by true classic movie fans who love their films or by women who think of Audrey Hepburn as a fashion icon based on her outfits and breakfast at Tiffany's and Funny Face, and Marilyn Monroe is often worshipped by men. Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe were charming and talented actresses for different reasons. Their celebrity cult isn't that different from other golden age of Hollywood actresses. Audrey Hepburn was Givenchy's personal muse, and her thin shape was way ahead of its time as the ideal body type for fashion. And Marilyn Monroe in many ways was considered Chanel's muse when advertising the perfume Chanel No. 5. Her stating that she wore the perfume to bed segued a new form of advertising for the perfume where Chanel used celebrities to endorse her perfume. Audrey Hepburn's pop culture impact is strikingly similar to Marilyn Monroe, who on the surface seems to be the polar opposite of Audrey. For people who don't know a lot about Marilyn Monroe and only see photos of her and kind of what they read on the surface, they would think that Audrey Hepburn is a more refined and classy version of Marilyn Monroe, and even the more intelligent version. And this was partly because Monroe, more often than not, played the dumb blonde on screen, and she was kind of typecast in that way, but Marilyn Monroe is actually very intelligent. They both, however, have become icons and symbolize the golden age of Hollywood and just film during a certain era. Marilyn Monroe has become a pop culture icon and the queen of glitz and glamour and sex appeal. She symbolizes the quintessential curvy female and body type and American excess, and Audrey Hepburn symbolizes elegance and classic beauty. And she almost coined the term the little black dress for her outfit in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Audrey Hepburn is considered to be the polar opposite and is the pop culture goddess of elegance, intellect, and the quintessential European sophistication. Both Marilyn and Audrey project the appearance of being frail, naive, and innocent. The frail weakness in these pop culture icons makes them feel accessible despite the conceptions of perfection we place on them simultaneously. This quality is what makes them so relatable and universally recognized compared to other old Hollywood actresses like Grace Kelly, who had the same top-tier status when it comes to classic Hollywood sophistication, but her image isn't printed on posters and people don't dress up as her on Halloween as nearly as much as Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn. Grace Kelly's demeanor didn't exude innocence and vulnerability. Instead, she was overly confident and sophisticated. Grace Kelly's roles and choices give us the impression that she was well aware of her beauty and talent, even if she didn't say so. This just makes her appear too perfect and beyond aspiration. So her image isn't engraved in your brain like Audrey and Marilyn. The modest demeanor that both Hepburn and Monroe are known for is part of what makes them equally valued. Their most distinguishing feature is they both have a long-lasting, prestigious, and omnipresent place in the collective psyche. But that isn't the only thing they share. In our culture's mental pantheon, the two of them share a single pedestal and appear together on an insane amount of items and photos, even though these two women who have never been photographed together in their lives. And I've seen posters where you can buy like a set, and I think it's one of Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe, and they're both blowing a bubble gum. And there's other ones too where you can kind of buy like a collection of both famous photos of both Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe together. So they kind of go hand in hand. Audrey and Marilyn are more culturally ambiguous than even beloved actresses like Elizabeth Taylor and Grace Kelly because they fulfill the roles we want them to play as archetypes, not as persons. They are the yin and yang of the universe. Betty and Veronica are their names. They symbolize two idealized parts of a lady that we tend to have difficulty imagining as totally merged. Marilyn wasn't all sex, red lipsticks, and tight pink wiggle gowns. Audrey wasn't just lovely black clothes, silent reading, and a strange lack of sensuality. If either of their projected senses of unassuming, unknowing innocence were true, it was most likely due to Monroe being raised without a stable or loving parent in a series of foster homes where she was abused, and Hepburn growing up in a Nazi-occupied Holland, where terror, violence, and acute famine were the norms. In this aspect, the cult that arose around Audrey was probably born out of a reaction to the idealization of bombshells like Marilyn and what felt like a slew of unfair and outdated ideals for what constitutes an ideal woman. And I think for females, a lot of people throughout history may have looked towards Audrey thinking she's more relatable, especially for a younger woman, her body type, and then thinking, okay, well, I don't have to be a double D to be the ideal woman, but I think a lot of men had a different gaze towards Marilyn Monroe. The comparison between Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn goes even deeper when Truman Capote preferred Marilyn Monroe to Audrey for the role in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Breakfast at Tiffany's is without a doubt one of the most iconic American romantic comedies of all time. This can be attributed to the film's principal actress Audrey Hepburn and her portrayal of Holly Golightly, a naive and quirky socialite. Hepburn remarked that playing Holly Golightly was one of the most challenging parts she had ever played because she was an introvert and Holly Golightly was an extrovert. The cult masterpiece was partially based on Truman Capote's novel, but Truman Capote had a different take on the main character. The legendary writer who sold copyrights to Paramount Studios to produce his book was not pleased since he preferred Marilyn Monroe to play the primary character, Holly Golightly. Capote's personal views about the actress, Marilyn was always my first choice to play the girl Holly Golightly, was mentioned by author and journalist Barry Paris, who's known for biographies of film luminaries such as Greta Garbo and Audrey Hepburn. Even though the screenwriter George Axelrod first adapted the screenplay for Monroe, there were persistent rumors that Holly Golightly was a call girl. Despite Truman's claims that the persona was not a prostitute but American geisha, the speculation sparked debate. Actor and director Lee Strasberg eventually told Monroe that portraying a prostitute-like character could be detrimental to her image, and she declined the role. Instead, she agreed to join the Misfits as a member. Paramount double-crossed me in every way and cast Audrey. Capote commented when Hepburn was cast instead of Monroe. Holly was given the name Connie Gustafson in the early drafts of Capote's novel. The writer later changed the character's name to Holly Golightly. The exact identity of the woman who inspired the creation of the character has been a source of much discussion. Claims have been made for at least 7 different people, the bulk of whom were dark-haired and fine, gorgeous ladies like Audrey Hepburn. Carol Grace, writer and actor, and models Dorian Lee and her sister Susie Parker are among the names mentioned. On the other hand, Capote claims that his model was a blonde girl who was quite similar in character to Marilyn Monroe. Half the women he knew claimed to be the model for his zany heroine, Capote's biographer Gerald Clark wrote. The biographer also observed parallels between the author and the character and between Holly's and Truman's mother, Nina Capote's, life. Blake Edwards directed Breakfast at Tiffany's, which was released in 1961. The director was also changed as the producers had originally chosen John Frankenheimer to direct the film. On the other hand, Hepburn had stated that she had never heard of John, and he was allegedly removed at her request. The actress received an Academy Award nomination for the film, and Moon River won Best Original Score and Best Original Song at the 34th Academy Awards in 1962. Both Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe are opposite sides of the coin. Their everlasting image is engraved in pop culture decades later. They were both real people with real problems, not a goddess or a saint. They were masters at their trade, and there's a reason that there is only one Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe. It has been decades since their last films, yet no other actress has been able to leave such a long-lasting impact on pop culture as Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn. So leave your comments below. Who is your favorite, Audrey or Marilyn, or do you like both of them? Who is more of an icon to you? Comment below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks again Switchcraft for sponsoring this video. And make sure you download and play Switchcraft for free and unlock the magical mystery. And this is my pinned comment and description box. All right, I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.